Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to talk about training frequency. As you can see right here, don't pay too much attention to the handwriting, I'm not that great. But the reason I want to talk about this because a lot of people are still misinformed when it comes to training frequency and when it comes to certain routines you want to do. So this video is not just for beginners out there, but also for people who have been lifting for a long time. But this video can actually make you realize that you've been doing it all wrong the whole time. Because I actually have been lifting for years before I found out how important this was. And after I realized it, I started making a lot more progress. So this applies to males as well as females. It doesn't matter, okay? A lot of people nowadays believe that you should really put a lot of volume into your workouts and that you should train every muscle group once a week, which is also called a bro split, because it's mainly advertised in bodybuilding magazines. The big guys you see at the gym who train like 5-6 times a week and who just have a separate chest day, separate arm day, shoulder day. And I'm here to tell you today that that's not the way you want to go when you're trying to build muscle, when you're trying to lose fat. Okay, there's a way more effective approach to this. If you are a natural athlete, I'm talking about natural athletes here. If you're an enhanced athlete, this does not apply to you, and I will explain why. And that is also the reason why people are so misinformed, and that's basically the problem here, because the approach that those people take works very well if you're on steroids, if you're on performance enhancing drugs. But if you are natural, it's not the optimal way to do it. And the problem there is that people don't realize that most of those guys in the magazines are on performance enhancing drugs. And if you follow their routines, it's definitely not optimal for you as a natural. So I'm going to show you what's optimal for a natural athlete, someone who wants to build muscle, lose fat, wants to get into fitness. So it might seem a little bit ironic here that I'm telling you today that you need to work out or you need to hit your muscles more often than people on steroids. Because you're probably thinking, well, don't I need more recovery time than people on steroids? I'm natural. The answer is right here, protein synthesis, which is the main topic I'm going to talk about today, and which makes the difference between a natural and an enhanced athlete. So without going into too many scientific details here, protein synthesis is basically removing or repairing damaged proteins and building new ones. And those new ones are stronger and able to handle more stress than before. So you're basically rebuilding muscle tissue and making the muscles bigger, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build muscle, okay? If your goal is losing fat, you still want to focus on building muscle. So here is where it gets pretty interesting. So protein synthesis is only elevated for 36 to 48 hours after your workout, 48 maximum. Okay, so after you train, you have 2 whole days of recovery, but then your muscle is fully recovered. So in fact, after 2 days, you can hit your muscle again, okay, after 48 hours. So now let me ask you this question. Does it make sense to hit your muscle once a week and let it wait for 5 days until you hit it again? So you're basically giving your muscles 5 days off, all right, while you could have hit them twice in that time. You're going to make twice as much gains. This sounds maybe kind of unrealistic to you, but it's actually true, okay? You will make a lot more gains if you hit your muscles more often. I've seen it myself. And the reason why for naturals is a little bit different than enhanced athletes is that for naturals, protein synthesis is only elevated after training. When you're enhanced, the steroids actually increase protein synthesis. That is actually the working effect of steroids. It does have some other effects, but I do believe it's the main benefit that steroids have is that it increases protein synthesis. So when you're enhanced, your muscles are rebuilding the protein throughout the whole week, okay, the whole time. So that's why you'll be making a lot more gains enhanced. So the main reason those enhanced guys train once a week is that their levels are elevated anyway. So for them, it doesn't really matter if they hit them more often. Because when you're enhanced, the muscles grow so fast that your ligaments and your tendons, they cannot keep up with it. Okay, so they need to worry about avoiding injuries. So that's the main reason why enhanced people train once a week. And now there are always a lot of people that come to me and tell me that, but they hit their muscles so hard so they're sore for the rest of the week, and so this doesn't apply to them. But research does show that protein synthesis, no matter how hard you hit a muscle, will still be elevated for a maximum 48 hours. Okay, so no matter how hard you hit it, if you do like fucking 12 sets, it will still be 48 hours. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to wait the rest of the week. Now, what will be increased is the amount of DOMS you will get. So let me get into that now. DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. And a lot of people believe that DOMS has something to do with recovery. but it does not actually, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're sore, you can still train. DOMS is not an indicator of muscle recovery, okay? So you should not worry about that. And let me tell you something, if you adapt high frequency training into your life, you will find that you're very sore, like the first days, the first weeks probably, but it'll catch up, because when you get used to it, you won't be sore anymore. So it is not an indicator, guys, and you can train through your soreness, it doesn't matter. All right, so what's the best program you can follow? Well, lower volume, higher frequency. So you will hit your muscles multiple times a week, but with slightly less volume. And there are always those bros that they can't handle it. They're like, man, I gotta have chest day. I gotta do fucking 6 exercises for chest and 30 sets. And yeah, it will be kind of different this way, but the way you want to look at it is total volume per week. A lot of people feel like they don't hit their muscles hard enough when they only do a couple of sets. But they're wrong, because you can go way harder actually when you only do like 3 exercises for chest. You can go hard on every single exercise. What you got to look at is the total volume per week, because that will still be the same. Okay, you will have the feeling that you do less exercises, but when you look at a weekly basis, it's actually completely the same. Let me explain. All right, so let's say on this bro split you have 1 chest day, and on that chest day you do about like 5 exercises for chest. Let's say you do 16 sets for chest. Okay, and then we compare that to the full body workout. So you're doing 16 sets a week with the bro split. Full body workout, well, you train 3 times a week, maybe 2 exercises for chest, 3 sets. So that's also 18 sets. It's exactly the same thing. Now, if you were to look at upper lower, it's the same thing again. Like you will do that 2 times a week, but then you will do 3 exercises for chest. You should look at weekly total volume and not at volume per workout, because that's not representable. Just as you look at weekly calories when you look at losing weight or gaining weight, it's the same thing. You want to look weekly, not daily. So the routines that I really like and that I really recommend to natural lifters is either a full body workout, which I think is great 3 times a week, or maybe 1 day on, 1 day off. This is even great for intermediate lifters. You might not realize, but I would actually love doing full body workouts if I didn't have enough time to go to the gym. I do have plenty of time and I love to go, so I'd rather do a push-pull legs workout, which you have 3 days, and then I repeat those 3 days again. But you can also take 1 day off, like for example. So there are multiple ways you can go about it. Upper-lower split, which is also great for beginners as well as intermediate lifters. So any of these splits or any combination of it is great. But just like my point today, you want to hit your muscles more often. You want to hit them at least twice a week. Like on push-pull legs, if you do push-pull legs, then 1 day off and you repeat, you will hit them twice every 8 days, which is perfectly fine as well. But once a week is really a no-go, okay? You definitely want it twice a week, maybe even 3 times a week, which is awesome in my opinion as well. So I do hope you guys understand right now what I'm telling you, and how important it is to increase your training frequency when you're a natural lifter. The moment that I started doing a push-pull leg split, I noticed severe progress within weeks, months. That year I made the best gains of my life. The year I started push-pull legs, and ever since I did that, it was like 2-3 years ago, I have stuck to it all the time. Like sometimes I try out a new routine, but after a couple weeks, I always get back on push-pull legs for some reason. I don't know why. It's just an amazing program. And I feel the same way about full body and upper lower as well, or any combination of it. So there are multiple options, but hitting your muscle at least twice a week is what I recommend. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below what you think about this topic, and subscribe to the channel for more. Peace out, guys.